Hey guys, this is the Cool Stuff HD. I'm going to show you how to coil and wick the TOBH Atty. This is the best way I've found, and it works really well. Here's how you do it. So I'm going to be using a dual coil setup. It's I use 28 gauge nichrome wire on a 1.4 millimeter screwdriver. I did 6 wraps each. I was going to show the building of the coils, but something happened with that video. I don't know what happened to it. So the way I built these coils is I have them kind of spaced out evenly so that we get a more surface area, because you're going to need it for this wicking. So whenever you make your coils, you want to make sure that you have really long leads on them, because you're going to need those. Okay, so let's start off. First, you want to see what sides your air holes are on your Atty. So in this case, they're going to be right here and right here. So when you put your coils in, you don't want to stick them all the way through close up to the posts. We're going to want the air holes right up against the coils. Oh, if I have the right screwdriver. So you're going to want your coil to be right there. Make sure it doesn't touch the deck at all. So let's tighten the negative post. And it helps if you tighten the positive post too before you put in your other coil, just so you can get this one in the right position. So you're going to want it right there next to this, I guess you'd call it a air hole plucker thing. I don't know what it's called, but so I'll level it out and have it right about there. So now you can loosen this one. It's still going to move your coil out of place, but I just found it easier to do that. So it helps if you bend your tail that way, so you can be able to put in your second coil. Okay. And pretty much just do the same thing with your second coil. Just put it right about there, and you could have it above that rim, but you can do some adjusting later. So let's tighten our posts. Alright, let's get this one leveled. And if you need to adjust it more, it's easier if you just loosen up the negative post and pull it in, and it should put it right in the position you want. Just like that. So it should be something like that. Now bend the tails up, and let's go ahead and clip those off. I like to clip them about level with the screws, so that way if you do need to readjust it, you have some more wire to pull through if you need to. So here's roughly what it's going to look like. You'll probably just need to clean it up a little bit. So let me clean it up and I'll be right back. Alright, so I cleaned it up just a little bit, so it looks a little bit nicer. Okay, now for the wick, what you're going to want to do is you want to get your cotton ball, and you want almost the whole cotton ball. Just unroll it, and you're going to want to have a long wick like this, because you're going to use just one piece of cotton for your wick. So Just pull off a little bit, not too thick. So it'll fit with through your coils. Alright, now you're just going to want to kind of press it together, get all those fibers together. And sometimes what I like to do is just roll it gently, just so you can get it pretty clean. But you don't want to roll it too tight, or else the juice won't flow really well through it. So this is what you're going to end up with. So now let's bring in our RDA. So this is how you're going to wick it. So you're going to want to feed it through your first coil. And on this side you can just twist it a little bit so it makes it go through easier if there's a little bit of stiffness, which it should just go through perfectly. Okay, once you're coming up on the other end, that one's a bit thin, I'll pull it back through. Once you come up on the other end, you want to leave about maybe an inch of your cotton. Okay, so now you're going to want to bring it under your first coil. Okay, tweezers come in handy for this. And then you want to pull it through, and it's going to be under that little tail right there, or the little lead. So I'm going to pull that through gently. And get it to where you have this little shape right here. And you're going to pull it until you can just push it right there in the juice well. Okay, now you're going to bring your wick through this coil and pull it through. And then you have that same little shape right there. So you're going to tuck that one into your juice well. Okay. Now you want to get about an inch on that side and just pull off the rest. Just make sure you really pack it in there, not too tight. Okay, now with these little tails that you have, you want to get them, bring it in like that, and just tuck it under the coil real lightly. And you should be able to pack it at least twice right under the coil. Not too tight because you don't want to suffocate it. Okay, there's the first one. And I'll do the same exact thing on this side. Now you want your coils to be a little low, maybe the middle of the coil lines up with this little wall. So I'm going to push it down just a little bit, just like that. See how the middle of the coil is about even with this little wall. And I do the same on this side, just tuck it under. And one more time. And if you have a little bit extra like this, you can just tuck that under too. Just make sure it's not too tight. Okay, so it should look something like this. Okay, so I thought of wicking it this way because you have one piece of cotton instead of two, so you're going to get about equal wicking to both coils. You're going to have each coil resting on a small little bed of cotton, and these two parts right here that you packed it into are going to act like little reservoirs for your juice. So you're going to be able to hold a lot of juice in this build, and you can take quite a few drags off of it before you get a dry hit, but it works really well for me. Okay. So one thing I forgot to mention at the beginning is the resistance of the coils. So it should be around, maybe it can go anywhere from maybe 0.5. I've got it down to 0.3. So it's about 0.5 ohms. Okay, so now you can test it. You can test the fit. So you're gonna get your walls and place it on top and make sure the air holes are right on those coils. So as you can see inside, the air holes line up exactly with your coils, so you're gonna get the air right onto them. So that's how that looks. Get it up close. Alright. And you can dry fire your coils just to make sure they're heating up evenly. I already did that, but that video, something happened with the file, so they heat up really evenly. Alright, now you want to stick it on your mod. And also remember, if you're sub-ohming, just make sure you have a battery that can handle it. So for this 0.5 ohm build, I'm using the EFES 2100 milliamp hour 30 amp battery. Alright, so let's put on this. Well, it's easier to put juice on it when it's like that. Alright. And this will take up plenty of juice. And I'm using a strawberries and cream that I got from my local shop, Max VG. So when you're dripping, you can start off on these two little reservoirs and then just go up to your coils. And it's taking quite a bit of juice and it saturates it all in there. Okay, that should do it. Alright, just let it soak in for a second. Alright, let's fire it and see how it goes. Getting pretty nice vapor out of it. Because remember, you do have those little beds of cotton all on the bottom. And then you have the cotton going through it. And then you have your two reservoirs. So let's throw this on. And just make sure your coils are lined up with your air holes. And I'm using a chuff cap for the TOBH Atty. Alright, now let's see the vapor that comes out of this. Alright, so now we're going to test the build that we just did and the wicking. You get a lot of flavor and a lot of vapor. So, I hope you guys enjoyed the video and found it helpful. If you have any questions or any recommendations or anything, just let me know in the comment section. Please like and favorite this video and subscribe, and there'll be more tutorials and more builds coming up soon. Thanks for watching.